Hey guys, welcome back, and thanks for joining me on my first Q&A video, and thanks to everybody who left comments and left questions for me to answer. So we're going to dive right in and start with a question from Ben at Londoner Outdoors. He has two questions. First one is, how do the dogs fit in the tent with you and all the gear? Basically, I have a two-person tent, and it's a true two-person tent. It's feels like a palace. I use the tarp tent double rainbow lithium, and there's absolutely masses of space in it for a two-person tent. The only time it can get a little bit iffy is when it's been pouring down with rain, and everything is wet. But in general, no, we fit very, very comfortably in that. I have one side, they have the other, and gear goes at the end. So the second question from Ben is, apart from legality issues, how does English wild camping compare to American? Yeah, other than the fact that it is mostly the legality, but I think it's the freedom, to be able to pitch up at 4 o'clock and chill in camp, enjoy it, not have to worry about being moved on. It's a very wild experience, especially in the Western US, and it's just really nice to have that, be out there and be alone in the wilderness, and not really experience having any other people around. The biggest difference for me is the amount, especially having lived in the West, is the amount of condensation. The difference, and we almost never dealt with it in the mountains of Wyoming and Colorado. It was just never an issue, and here I'm constantly dealing with condensation in my tent, dew on the outside. It's just not something that I've ever really dealt with. So that, yeah, I hope that answers your question, Ben. Second question is from Woodside Walker. You didn't film the the coastal section of the Cleveland Way. What didn't you enjoy about it? The reason I didn't film it is because I haven't done it yet, but I will be going back in September to do it. I did love the Cleveland Way, and I'm really looking forward to going back to that. So, Only Competitions also has a couple of questions. The first one is, how much food do the dogs eat in a typical day? When we're out backpacking, they eat the same as they do when we're at home. They are a high energy dog anyway, so for the most part they eat about the same. I do add in extra snacks throughout the day to help them out, but for the most part I feed them about the same, maybe just a little bit more. Okay. Next question from Only Competitions was, I was wondering how much extra time does the filming add to a walk or hike, and do you plan it before you set out? It only adds about an hour, half hour to an hour, depending on the length of the walk or the adventure, and I don't plan it at all. There's absolutely zero planning when it goes into what I'm filming, because I want to experience it with you. Want you guys to see exactly how what it's like when I get there. And as far as the commentary, I research things. So I want to be able to give you guys some information. But other than that, I don't really, get into a whole lot of planning for it. So thanks for those two questions. Question from Day Hughes Hikes. Hi CJ, have you ever been in any sticky situations whilst out and about, and how did you overcome them? Only real sticky situations I've been in were to do with weather. I've gone over mountain passes with lightning and thunder and hail coming down all around me, and that was absolutely terrifying. I saw a lightning strike half a mile from me, if that. And it was just basically get down off of it as quick as possible. I've had a couple of wildlife encounters, but other than that, most things I've actually done okay with. So, okay, thanks for that question, Day. Next question is Bobby Diamond Dazzler. Hi CJ, I would like to know how you go about planning your trips, like working out the route. How do you know where you can camp freely in the UK without being told off by the landowner? And would you travel across the USA or anywhere else? I don't honestly do a whole lot of planning, to be honest. Most of what I've done is natural trails. I just rely on my experience. I know how much food I generally eat, what I like to eat. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of planning. I'll look at the route, I'll research the route a little bit ahead of time. But yeah, not much planning in general. It all comes down to being second nature anymore. As far as my road trips, again, not much planning. I kind of pick an area of the country, research some ideas of where I want to go, some things that would be interesting to go check out and video, and I put them all in Google, and just sort of, I get there when I get there. I'll go do one thing, film that, look at the map, see what's next, go do that, etc., etc. So there's no real plan when I have those things. So that's a great question. Second question, would I travel across the USA or anywhere else, which I've actually done, or at least most of the Western US. I've road tripped all over the Western US, and I absolutely loved it. Miss it very, very much. And would I go anywhere else? Absolutely. I would love to travel. There's so many places in this world I want to see. So thanks for those questions. All right, next question is from T in Valhalla. So hi, Carrie and Kat. Thanks for the question. And if you guys haven't seen their channel yet, I highly recommend checking it out. They are absolutely super entertaining to watch. So yeah, go check them out. But their question is, can we please ask you what your first long distance trail was and why did you choose it? I'm going to answer this in conjunction with another question, which was from my dad, who asked which was my favorite hike in the US and in the UK. So the first long distance hike I ever did was a Solitude Loop Trail, and I'll put a link to my blog for the trip down below. It also happens to be my favorite hike. So it was about 65 miles. I did it because it was basically in the mountains that were in my backyard, and it was easy to do if something went wrong. But for the most part, it was just, I love the Bighorn Mountains. They're home. And then but my first hike in the UK, long distance hike in the UK, was the West Highland Way. And because I didn't know much about hiking in the UK, I didn't know much about any trails. It was really the only one I knew of at the time, other than the South Downs Way. And that's why I did that one. And I was missing mountains. And so I would also say that's also my favourite hike in the UK. So both my first hikes in each country are my favourite. The next question is from Katrin Kunert. Hi Katrin. She asks, what camera do you use and what software do you use for editing? So I use a Sony HX90 for most of my filming. It's what I'm currently filming on right now. And I like it because it has a flip-up screen that can block the mic in windy conditions, which is really, really helpful when I don't have a plug-in mic. And then I also use a DJI Action Cam for trying to get some of the more stable shots. That has an external mic on it. I'm having issues with the sound quality and editing on that one. And then for the editing software, I use Magix Pro Premium. It's a very simple program. It's a lot less complicated than Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, things like that. It's and it's not as pricey either as things like Premiere. And I find it very, very intuitive, very, very easy to use. So I have two final questions from Abby Barnes over at Spend More Time in the Wild. So thanks, Abby, for sending me these. She asks, what does success look like to you on a personal and a professional level? So on a personal level, success is being content with life, is being finding joy in life, finding meaning in life, and living life to the fullest without any regrets. I always say that, it's always one of my favorite phrases. I'd rather try and regret the things I did than the things I didn't do. So on a professional level, I would say it would be success is making a difference, is doing something you're passionate about, you love doing, but that also touches people's lives, makes a difference, has an impact on people and the planet, both. But I think that to me that's what professional success would look like. It's what I am trying to do with this channel, is to have an impact on people and bring people together as a community and not just as a YouTube channel. So Abby's second question is, what is one of the proudest moments in your life? I would have to say opening up about my accident and coming to terms with that. That was a struggle. And also, opening up a little bit more about my mental health with family and with you guys, and talking about it and keeping a dialogue going. That has always been a big, big struggle for me. So being able to do that, being willing to do that, being accepting of doing that has been, I would say, is probably one of my proudest moments for myself. Finding that respect for myself to say, I need help, I need some support. Yeah, so that was a tough one to answer, but it got me thinking a little bit there, Abby. But and then knowing that being open and honest about that with people that are watching, and hearing that it's touched them, hearing that it has made a difference to them, especially regarding my injury on my face, and knowing that other people, it's made a difference to them. Alright guys, that was the last of the questions. I really appreciate everybody leaving me a comment or a question for me to answer. I hope I answered them satisfactorily. Until next time guys, thank you so much for your support, and as always guys, thanks for watching.